What's up everyone, Criddle here, and I played Fellowship a lot during the open beta and wanted to give my thoughts and overview to help you decide if this is a game for you. The playtest started out rough with a lot of lag, servers crashing, and thousands of players stuck in loading screens. It was not a good look overall, but the dev team stepped up and sorted out many of the issues over the next couple of days. By Saturday, the game was much more stable, and I have to give a shout out to the devs for working late nights and through the weekend to make this happen. It really shows their dedication to making the game the best it can be. Fellowship is a multiplayer online dungeon adventure, or MODA. There are a few similar games being developed, but I would say Fellowship is the best I have found so far. A quick description of this game would be running dungeons in World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, but without the world built around it. You are essentially queuing for dungeons, finding a group, and fighting your way through a dungeon, slaying enemies until you reach a final boss. Each time you do so, you are rewarded with gear, quartermaster tokens, and cache keys, which are all used to further upgrade your character of choice, making them more powerful so you can run more difficult dungeons. The party size is 4, balanced around 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS, although you can change this in a full pre-made group. With this setup, tanks are there to maintain threat, take and mitigate damage, and position enemies. Healers are there to keep players alive that do take damage and cure ailments. DPS are attempting to do as much damage as possible without pulling threat from the tank or getting hit by area effect abilities. Both the tanks and DPS can interrupt abilities that enemies cast, and it will be necessary to coordinate with your team, especially at higher difficulties. For this open test, there were 5 normal dungeons available, each with a unique layout, enemies, and final boss. In the beginning, the goal for each dungeon is to slay a certain number of enemies until you reach 100% kill score, then slay the final boss. If done successfully, you'll be rewarded with a chest containing gear and upgrade materials, as well as unlock the next tier of that dungeon. From what I could tell, each dungeon had a unique set of gear you could obtain, and you will want to run specific dungeons if you are looking for specific items. This is not necessary for new players, but as you get into higher difficulties, having the right stats and set items could mean the difference between winning or losing. As you advance into higher tiers, new challenges will start to open up. For example, tier 1 through 3 of a dungeon is mostly just reach 100% kill score and defeat the final boss, but once you hit tier 4 or higher, a timer appears. While you still gain rewards for finishing the dungeon outside of that timer, you will not be able to advance to higher tiers until you complete the dungeon within the allotted time. In addition to that, the enemy's abilities become stronger and new abilities begin to appear, making them more challenging. Again, in tier 1 through 3, interrupting or avoiding specific abilities may not wipe the entire party, but starting at tier 4, many abilities will be hard to get through without proper communication with your team. This goes not only for bosses, but trash fights as well. Meanwhile, as you successfully clear dungeons with a specific character, you will gain new abilities and talents through a reward track. These new abilities make a huge difference in power level, and the talents can drastically change the playstyle of a character. These rewards continue up to 16 wins on each character. This, however, is only the left side of the reward track, and you will also have the right side and vertical rewards, which will unlock as you clear more challenging content. These will reward you with additional gear, upgrade materials, talent points, and cosmetic items to show off your achievements. Now that you've unlocked your character's potential and seen what the game has to offer, this is where the fun begins. At this point, you will continue to push higher tiers until you unlock tier 7, which is the 6th unique dungeon and includes 3 unique bosses. Not only that, but this dungeon also contains a second affix, which further adds to the difficulty. Do note that this dungeon can only be queued with a full party, so be sure to make some friends along the way. Clearing this dungeon in the time limit will then unlock the next rank of dungeons, where you continue to climb in the ranks for more rewards and more challenge. You do this for a total of 4 ranks, from Contender, Adept, Champion, and finally Paragon, each rank adding more health, damage, abilities, and affixes. Finally, if you're able to clear all of the previous mentioned content, you can unlock an endless mode, which will continually scale difficulty to really push the limits of your team. At some point, your gear score, talent points, and character potential will be maxed out, and the only thing you can do to push higher is play better. This is where the leaderboards will come in, and players will compete against each other to see how far they can reach. That all said, the game is shaping up to be a lot of fun, although I do see some downsides of possible toxicity in the community. I highly recommend finding a group of like-minded players to play with, at least in the beginning. The game will release on early access on October 16th, which you can grab for $25 with no additional fees, but optional cosmetics can be purchased. Anyway, that's it for me. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and follow for more. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch streams where we'll be playing and chatting about Fellowship as well as many other games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.